I started watching Gravity Falls because this show gets a lot of love, so I want to check it out. This show had a great start. It's so mysterious, intriguing, and so funny. And there's a great contrast between characters. There's that serious, there's that funny, and for some reason I see an inspiration from SpongeBob. Like Mabel is like SpongeBob but smarter, and Wendy is like Squidward but cooler. This is such a great start. I'm gonna continue watching. Episode 2 of Gravity Falls is so funny. Man, the jokes were unstoppable. I really laughed.
Hey boys, you can look, but you can't touch. Squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, squeak.
Awesome! That's a secret from one fishing buddy to another.
Who are you exactly?
Just call me your Grunkle Stan!
Sir! Why are you talking to our son? If you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police!
You see, the thing about that is...
Go bother your own kids!
The characters are getting more likable, especially Seuss. That dude is really relatable. I love how this show builds up a story, then in the end it's something completely different. It's a nice shock factor, and I know that the animation in it is so smooth. I've barely seen an animation that smooth, and it was better than the first episode. Episode 3 of Gravity Falls is great. This episode about wax figures that Grunkle Stan used to sell, and Mabel bought a Grunkle Stan wax figure, and she made the widest comment.
I made this sculpture with my own 2 hands. It's covered in my blood, sweat, tears, and other fluids.
Then we get a mystery to solve. This show is still funny, and this episode has the widest moment.
Finally, we can be alone. Cardboard cutout of female news reporter Chandra Jimenez.
This episode wasn't that much in the beginning, but by the end it picked up. I didn't expect the twist. It was terrifying. Loved this episode.
Wax Coolio? What's up, Holmes?
Episode 4 of Gravity Falls is nice. This episode is about a psychic who's a fraud named Gideon, and he tried to pressure Mabel to be his girlfriend, and I really felt bad for Mabel. I know the stuff from the previous episodes stays with the next episodes, which is great as a continuing story. As always, it starts with something normal, then it shocks you at the end. The jokes were silly and I liked it, but I didn't like the idea of Gideon. He looks like a creep, even though he is a little kid. It was such a nice episode. Episode 5 of Gravity Falls is super. It's the longest we have seen of Wendy, and Dipper has a crush on her, so my teenage version will fight him for her. This show is getting more creepy each episode, which I really like it. From Dipper lying to be with the teenage group just because he likes Wendy, to Mabel being every boy's sister. I like how Dipper gave that guy a giant FU. This episode was about ghosts, and it was really terrifying. Like, I was pretty sure that most of the guys were dead, but turns out it's not really. And the background story of the ghosts is really sad. And this is the most relatable episode. So far, this is the most fun episode I have watched. Episode 6 of Gravity Falls is awesome. Okay, it wasn't better than the previous episode, but it was something fun. First of all, I did not care for Grunkle Stan and Lazy Susan thing, but I did care for Dipper going on a journey to be the manliest man. His family bullied him for not being a man, and he really took an action. I love the references to pop culture in this show, and in this case it's Dancing Queen by ABBA. This episode fills you with testosterone. I really felt like the manliest man watching it. At first I thought that Dipper wasn't really a man for not doing that thing. If you watch, you know what I'm talking about, but then by the end they convinced me. This show is really great. Episode 7 of Gravity Falls is really nice. This episode from the start tells you it's about clones, and I like how to continue the story of Dipper and Wendy. Stan is having a party at the shack to get more money, and Dipper is trying to have a time with Wendy, while Mabel made new friends. What I like is that they made a very fun clone episode. They really made this idea so fun, and they show you the personality of Dipper, and this is the least creepy episode. Episode 8 of Gravity Falls is nice. This episode was showcasing how being serious is something so useful, so they made perfect silly jokes, and they did this conspiracy thing and took shots on the US. It was a very fun episode, but not much in it. It felt like a break between episodes. Episode 9 of Gravity Falls is amazing. It was about time traveling, and I really wanted to see this idea in Gravity Falls, and I'm so glad that they used Wendy as the issue of the episode. It's a normal time traveling episode, but the jokes were really funny in it, and the moments were really fun. Gravity Falls is that show that is really different from any show. Episode 10 of Gravity Falls is cool. It's another episode in the rivalry between Dipper and Robbie, and Robbie knew what Dipper is trying to do, and Dipper got into trouble, so now he has to fight Robbie. This episode featured a lot of fighting video games references, and that joke is wild.
I must defeat the world's greatest fighters! Take me to the Soviet Union!
That's gonna be tough, for a number of reasons. But
I really like the smooth animation. I wish actual fighting games were that smooth. This episode was all around fun. Episode 11 of Gravity Falls is amazing. The idea was about shrinking and unshrinking. It's a unique idea, and they done it to perfection. And this episode was really funny.
lean closer and I'll tell you.
Well, don't mind if I...
Stan's getting more and more likable, and they kinda fixed Gideon.
What cute little thing are you off to, you cute little cutie face? I'm gonna annihilate my archenemy's entire family. Oh, okay. Yay!
In my opinion, this episode fixed all the problems in Gravity Falls. It made it a better show. Episode 12 of Gravity Falls was horrifying. That monster is legit terrifying. And it's an episode about Halloween in the mid of summer. The fun thing, it was really creepy. And Dipper is reminding me of myself when I had crushes. I was stupid like him. This episode also showed us the beautiful relationship between Dipper and Mabel. I have a sibling too, and it means a lot to me. I love this episode so much. Episode 13 of Gravity Falls is nice. It's not that creepy with an episode like every episode, kinda. And it was a really fun idea about being greedy. Man, throughout the episode I was rooting for Stan. I don't like bosses who are not really bossy. And we can see how this is an issue in this episode. Everyone became less responsible, and we got a very good ending. But it's not really a big episode. Episode 40 of Gravity Falls was funny. It started with Bottomless Pit, and it allowed them to tell stories, which I think made the way for Gravity Falls short. So it answered a lot of questions, like what if Dipper had a different voice? What if Stan didn't lie? What is the greatest Seuss moment? I like how all the fantasy stories seems more real than Grunkle Stan's story. This was such a fun-packed episode. You will not be bored of it. Episode 15 of Gravity Falls was lovely. It wasn't the hottest day of summer. I had some Dipper and Windy stuff, but the main focus was Mabel and her love life. And the biggest scene was Mabel getting her first kiss. But dude, some jokes really killed me. We got a very fun and a very cool episode. Episode 60 of Gravity Falls was amazing. It was about a conflict between Dipper and Mabel, and they found out about a secret room which has this strike that transforms bodies. So we got chaos, and it was really fun from the start to the end. My favorite moment was Seuss getting a kiss. It was like, okay, very nice episode. Episode 70 of Gravity Falls is cool. So it was about music, and we have two sides. Dipper's side was Robbie making brainwash music to make Wendy stay his girlfriend, and this ended up badly. While Mabel's side was a bit funny. It was about that every boy band ever that they sing in autotune like T-Pain, and to me this is really funny. So this episode was a good balance between fun and sadness, and they used some music properly. Episode 80 of Gravity Falls is exciting. So dinosaurs are back for some reason, and we see some intensity in some relationships. We see Grunkle Stan being bad and then being a hero, which made him so likable. They also made sure that Seuss isn't always good. He's a lot of times clumsy. But that episode was full of action and I loved it. And the end left us hanging. What's gonna happen next? It's the episode that ends with intensity. I really wanna see what's gonna happen next. Illuminati! Episode 19 of Gravity Falls was awesome. Gideon wants to get the shack, and he tried to locate the contrast from Stan's mind. And to do that, we get Belle Saffron for the first time. And it was highly anticipated, so the whole episode was really fun and really emotional too. We see Stan and Dipper relationship that has a beautiful meaning. This episode was full of action and ended on a cliffhanger. It was so awesome. Episode 20 of Gravity Falls was amazing. It's the last episode of the season, and Gideon proved that he's the most annoying villain. Everyone was against the Pines, and now they have lost the shack. But I love how everything ended because Dipper and Mabel used the least used thing, and they were able to defeat Gideon, and Stan was able to prove that Gideon is a fraud. The most interesting part of this episode is the end. I've always known that Stan had something, and by the end it showed. I am now so excited to watch season 2. A great end to a great season. Starting off season 2 of Gravity Falls really good. It continued where it left off, but didn't reveal too much. This episode didn't play around much, and it was all business. And I love that. That's how we should continue after the first season. Stan is still the coolest, and he finally admitted that he knew about strange stuff in Gravity Falls. Also, we got zombies because Dipper messed up. More secrets to the journal reveal. I think I'm going to get something special. Episode 2 of season 2 of Gravity Falls was even better. So Dipper and Wendy are closer than ever, as this episode was more business than usual. They are set to find the author of the journal, and when they almost did, it turned out to be a shapeshifter, and it was horrifying. This episode made me feel a lot of of things. I'm so interested, I'm so intrigued. The uncertainty of things in future episodes. It's all just building up good. Wendy was the coolest in this episode. The best episode about her so far. And finally Dipper confessed his love to Wendy, and turned out Wendy already knew. But somehow it made their friendship better. 2 great episodes in a row. I'm so excited, man. Episode 3 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was fun. It was like a break from the original story. Of course it had shenanigans and magic stuff. It's Gravity Falls after all. The best thing about this episode is Pacifica and Mabel kinda became friends. But yeah, it was a really fun episode, but not that much in it. Episode 4 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was awesome. Bill is back, and the episode was about puppets, especially with Mabel, because she found a boy. Now Dipper was trying to figure the secret of the laptop, and Bill claims that he knew what is the secret, and he left Dipper no choice but to deal with him. But Bill tricked him and possessed Dipper's body, so Dipper technically died, I guess. Anyway, it was really fun and full of action. That was a better Bill Cipher episode than the Season 1 one. Episode 5 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was great. Sus was trying to find a date, and he is awkward with girls, but he found a dating simulator video game to help him talk to girls, but the game turned out to be evil. In my opinion, this is a better video game episode. It was more risky and it had the funniest jokes.
Would like to see you settled before I ascend to heaven and live with the angels.
And with Grandpa.
No, he is not there.
And I felt like they were roasting people who are like Sus. And eventually Sus found his match. So yeah, it was nice. Episode 6 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was nice. It was another short episode. And I love the mini stories Gravity Falls tells. They are the best at making mini episodes. The first story was funny with a witch. It had really funny jokes. The second one was also fun. It had something to do with the pig. And we finally see Dipper and the pig doing something together. But my favorite one was the last one. It had stop motion and horror, and also it was really funny. This one had the Gravity Falls feel the most, and it felt different, so I liked it. So yeah, that was the episode. Episode 7 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was awesome. It was about a mysterious group called the Blind Eye. They were erasing memories from the people of Gravity Falls because they saw some strange stuff. This felt so mysterious and so intriguing, and they had something to do with Magaket, who is by the way the creator of the laptop, so that another mystery getting solved. And man, when I got shocked by the end that the Blind Eye actually was created by Magaket, but he made himself forget he was a total different person and he worked with the author. Dude, that stuff are awesome. You are treating my mind so beautifully. Everything has a reason. It doesn't happen randomly, and that's how it should be. That's the episode for me. Episode 8 of Gravity Falls Season 2 is good. Now we reached episodes where the creators are tying all loose ends. So they are doing callbacks for situations in previous episodes. It was about that annoying time traveling guy, and Dipper and Mabel had to pay for what they did. But they beat him some time guest hosted by the Time Baby, and they get to wish what they want. Now the core of the episode is about Sus and his father. He didn't celebrate any of his birthdays, well, because his father never showed to any one of them, and that scarred Sus. It's so emotional, so sad. Sus is a great guy, he didn't deserve that. And now we learned why Sus loves Stan so much. Great episode. Episode 9 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was nice. It was about Robbie being miserable after Wendy, and he got another relationship because of Mabel. And that duo is perfect, but that caused troubles. And we saw Gravity Falls version of Cupid. This episode taught us how we shouldn't change how things are. Sometimes we should leave stuff as they are. But the outcome was nice, and we finally found a solution for Robbie. Episode 10 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was awesome. Okay, why I like Dipper and Pacifica together? I really want this relationship to happen. This episode was about how Northwest are dirty to the point a ghost is trying to get a revenge on them. Luckily, Pacifica is the only one who isn't like them, and that gave us such a nice dynamic, and it ended on Magaket and a cliffhanger. It was a nice episode. Oh my god. Episode 11 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was the best. It finally revealed what Stan has been doing, and they had this conflict that Stan is evil. Stan almost lost everything, and you get the most exciting action. It was so dramatic, every character did something special. This is cinema in my opinion, and we finally got to know who is the author. It's someone who I never expected. This is the best episode so far. Episode 12 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was amazing. We were all like Dipper here.
Began to keep a journal.
The journals!
This episode explained everything, and I mean literally everything, and I felt so bad for Stan, man. His life was miserable. No one loves this guy, man. It was such a lovely episode. This is the explanation episode. I can't talk too much about it. Episode 30 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was nice. It was like a break after 2 great episodes. It showed us the fun side of Ford, and it showed us that Dipper is like Ford and Mabel is like Stan. It was really fun and games. I wish they made a video game out of it like Card Wars. Nice episode. Episode 40 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was nice. Gideon is back in action, and this episode was about being the mayor of Gravity Falls, and I really want Stan to win. It was a nice way to bring Gideon back, and it's a nice way to show Stan. We didn't get much of Ford here. A nice little episode. Episode 60 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was fun. Dipper is a ladies boy. I wish they made a story about Pacifica and Dipper, but okay. I was seeing him and Mabel's friend as a great idea, but yeah, it wasn't something. However, Stan got bamboozled the most. The whole idea of the episode is non-dateable characters actually getting a date. Episode 70 of Gravity Falls Season 2 was awesome. We had an adventure with Ford and Dipper, and it was really fun to see what Ford knew. Dipper had the opportunity to be like Ford, but that caused a crack in the relationship between Dipper and Mabel, and we can see Mabel having her worst time because she is gonna be lonely. And Bill Cipher found that and used Mabel to cause Weirdmageddon, which is an event we are gonna see till the end of the season. I'm so excited for this. So Weirdmageddon trilogy has started. It's now Bill Cipher's game, and he's now acting like God. He brought his freak world into Gravity Falls. I like what Bill did to Mr. North, but it's weird as...
Offer! How about instead I shuffle the functions of every hole in your face?
I love how they mess up the intro, just like how Bill Cipher is messed up. So now the whole Gravity Falls is a mess. Ford is now Bill's hostage. Dipper doesn't know how to help, but Dipper and Wendy have tried their best to reach Mabel, who is trapped in this ball. Gideon has escaped prison because of Bill, and he turned on Bill in the last minutes of the episode because he loves Mabel. Bill killed the time baby. That's huge. So this is the first part. It's crazy and shocking. You could have never expected how powerful Bill is. Part 2 was more about the whole siblings feud between Dipper and Mabel. Mabel was locked in a bubble that uses her weakest point, her emotions. Dipper, Wendy, and Suze all enter the bubble, and they all fall for the trap of happiness except for Dipper, because he is more rational, which turned out to be the secret that cracked the whole bubble. This episode was so emotional and complex too, because you see, Mabel is running from reality. She wants to be happy, but it looks like she is living in denial, and maybe in depression. But you get to see there is nothing stronger than the Pines twins, which is really inspiring. This is the deepest Gravity Falls have gone in my opinion. Now with Bill, turned out his plan came a little bit short. He can't take over the world just yet. He just took over Gravity Falls. And the Pine twins reunite with Stan and the others who are alive again. We got to the longest and final part. We got the cool Bill/original intro to signify it's the end. The shack is the safest thing now because it disables any magic Bill and his freaks do. Bill has so much charisma, and yet he's so evil, like madness evil. Maybe that's why he got a strong fan base. We got the rock version of Gravity Falls theme, and it's everything I needed. We had lots of cool action scenes and real fun fights. The plot here is crazy, so many details and things adding up, so in the end it all makes sense, but it's crazy too. The real hero was Stanley. He literally sacrificed himself to defeat Bill Cipher, and I can't believe how they outsmarted the trickiest thing in the whole universe. It blew my mind. And it's amazing how this show turned the most useless character like Stan to one of the most loved and the most brave character of the whole show. Everything turned to the best. So the bad people became good. Everyone found their purpose. And we got one of the best endings to an animation show where it ties all loose ends. Some things I don't like is that Dipper never got a girlfriend. The whole Wendy thing, I wish I have seen more of it. But overall, I'm happy with what we have got. And so sad that it's over, you know. I don't want to see another season of the show because the ending is perfect. Maybe a prequel story to Bill or other things would be amazing. But I kinda don't want to see more of Gravity Falls because it's a beautiful show that I don't want to see get milked. What are your thoughts on Gravity Falls and the whole ending?